Here's a roundup of the latest nerdy books that I got in 2024-2025, mostly as presents for birthdays, for Christmas. Friends just like to give me nerdy books. The Goonies, the official coloring book. What a time to be alive. We now live in a time where there is an official Goonies coloring book. Grab your tape player and colored pencils. It's time to color with The Goonies. I just can't believe they actually released this. Very high quality too. Look, there's some embossing. Shiny. Yeah, great. Jurassic Park official creative coloring. What's going on? What's with all these coloring books? Wow, lots of detail. Enjoy the most iconic moments from Jurassic Park and relive the action, adventure, and thrills. Woo! Dachshund. Dachshund! We've got Dachshund here! Nobody cares. Jurassic Park, the ultimate visual history. Wow. Features 19 amazing special items, including the original Jurassic Park brochure, the cover of Alan Grant's book, and a Jurassic Park postcard. Let's check it out. Should I keep this sealed? Of course I should, because I'm a nerd. But I'm going to open it anyway. Are sealed books worth more? I've never heard of a sealed book, actually. Well, I mean, I've never heard of a sealed book selling for a higher price. If you have Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice first edition, it doesn't have to be sealed. I love the smell of new books in the morning. I love the sound of creak of new books. The ultimate visual history. Foreword by Sam Neill, introduction by Laura Dern, afterword by Jeff Goldblum. What's the difference between a foreword and an introduction? I have no idea. Chapter 1, Jurassic Park. Chapter 2, The Lost World. Chapter 3, Jurassic Park 3. Chapter 4, The Jurassic Legacy. So nothing about the 4, 5, 6? For a movie to grow imaginations and break so many boundaries is just remarkable. Steven has given us these markers in our lives where we walk into the theater, the lights go down, and his films impact who we are, how we think, how we dream, what we are afraid of, and what we believe in. And that couldn't be truer of Jurassic Park. Wow, I got some goosebumps. I wholeheartedly agree. I love the concept art. I love it. Great stuff. Stop motion legend and Tippett studio head Phil Tippett. What a guy. The dinosaur supervisor who almost lost his job. Anyway, we don't have time to check every page, but rest assured, this seems like a whole lot of excellent information. It's so thick. Thanks, friends who gave this to me. The DeLorean Time Machine, Doug Brown's Owner Workshop Manual. Wow. Also featuring the Flying DeLorean, the Time Train, hoverboards, and more. Bob Gale, so the original Bob Gale, wrote it, together with Joe Walser and illustrations by Joe Walser. Join Doug Brown for an electrifying look under the hood of one of the most iconic cars in movie history. Well, I dislike how many times people overuse or abuse the word iconic. But yeah, let's just say the DeLorean is an iconic movie car. That's true. Introduction. Doug Brown's Journals. Part 1, DeLorean Time Machine. Doug Brown's Journals in 2015. In 1885, there's behind the scenes. Let's just go to the behind the scenes. Why a DeLorean? Why a DeLorean? The DeLorean was selected because it looked sexy. That's not an adjective I would use. I'd just say cool or sleek or snazzy. With the gull-wing doors giving it a unique futuristic appearance, leading the Peabody family to mistake it for a flying saucer in the original movie. And because of John DeLorean's notoriety, that's a hard word, he was on trial while the movie was in pre-production, and the filmmakers thought this gave the car an added sense of danger. Time circuits display. Why 88 miles per hour? Great question. Over the years, many theories have been proposed about the significance of 88 miles per hour, the speed at which time travel occurs in Back to the Future. Fans have often speculated that it represents the character for infinity, duplicated sideways. But the real reason is far simpler. The film's creators felt 88 miles per hour was easy to remember and significantly higher than the legal speed limit, meaning Doc Brown wouldn't accidentally drive that fast. Next up, Jurassic Park again, the official script book, complete with annotations and illustrations. So this is the screenplay by David Koepp, with annotations, and of course it's based upon the novel by Michael Crichton. So this is the full movie script. I'm a little disappointed by the fact that it's, I think this is the script before parts were cut for the eventual movie. So for example, we cut to the dig of Alan Grant and Ellie Sattler, and if I'm not mistaken, what's the first thing we hear them say? It's something like, Dr. Grant, the computer's ready, or something like that, and then he says, I hate computers. But here it says that the very first words out of Grant's mouth are 4 complete skeletons, such a small area, the same time horizon. Ellie says they die together. Grant says the taphonomy sure looks that way. Ellie says if they die together, they live together, suggests some kind of social order. Then of course, as a movie script does, there's an introduction to the character. So it says Dr. Alan Grant, mid-30s, a ragged-looking guy with intense concentration you wouldn't want to get in the way of, carefully examines a claw. So yeah, you get the point. This is Ellie, by the way. This is the concept art for Ellie Sattler. You get the point. This is not 100% the movie's script, and that's what I would have wanted. If I'm reading at night with a tiny light, and I want to relive the movie in my head instead of watching the Blu-ray or the 4K. I want to read the correct script, the shooting script, and this is the script book. So I'm a little disappointed. However, you never look a gift horse in the mouth, so I'm still happy because there's lots of annotations, there's lots of behind-the-scenes stories, there's great storyboards and concept art. So in all, still a recommended book, but could have been tiny bit better for me, just for me. Creating Back to the Future, the musical. I saw the musical in 2021. Yeah, I saw the musical in 2021. It's amazing. Weirdly enough, at least 2 of my friends who are also Back to the Future fans were disappointed. I really loved it. And I was skeptical because well, it is my favorite movie of all time, but I really love what they did with it. Yeah, this is the making of the musical in book form. Roger Bart, that's Doc Brown, gives a foreword. Great Scott! Nah, I'm not going to do that. It would be too easy and probably the first words you'd be expecting to read from the man who has been fortunate enough to bring to the stage one of the most beloved characters in the history of motion pictures. But Doc Brown is far more than a famous catchphrase, etc., etc. Introduction by Bob Gale. Yes, the Bob Gale. They even include emails between Bob Gale and a guy called John Rando. Glenn Ballard was equally excited about the prospect of working with Rando. He's hungry but not starving. Perfect motivation. Okay. If you have the chance to see the musical in person, well, I'd go and see it. I don't know why certain friends were disappointed, because I really liked the musical. I loved what they did with it. I loved how they brought it to the stage. It expands on the movie. It doesn't follow the movie slavishly. Yeah, I just liked it. So yeah, a great book about the making of the Back to the Future musical. Ghostbusters, the ultimate visual history. The ultimate visual. So it's not just the visual history, but the ultimate. Foreword by Dan Aykroyd, introduction by Ivan Reitman, and written by Daniel Wallace. It's sort of a common theme that they always have one of the stars of the movie do either the foreword or the introduction or the afterword. Is that a huge selling point? Are people really gonna buy a book because Dan Aykroyd wrote the introduction? I don't know. I mean, I'm a fan, but I wouldn't buy the book just for his introduction or his foreword, because we're still not sure what's the difference. Yeah, one of those books, again, filled to the brim with great stories behind the scenes, lovely storyboards, lovely concept art. Ooh, so creepy. And just, well, all a fan would or could know about Ghostbusters. Oh, this is funny. There's also a feelie. Oh, there's lots of feelies. So is this the same? Is this the same company that did the Jurassic Park book? Yeah, Titan Books. Yep, I'm betting it's even the same size. So yeah, they also have touchy-feelies. So here's a preview card. These are the questions that the test audience got while the preview cut of Ghostbusters was playing. So for example, what is your sex and age? Sex, male, female. Age 11 or under. How would you rate the movie you have just seen? Check 1. So it's either excellent, extremely good, very good, good, fair, or poor. Why have you given this film this rating? If you wanted to tell someone what the movie was about, what would you say? How would you describe the film? It's about guys catching ghosts. What will you be most likely to tell your friends about the movie you have just seen? Would you tell them to not miss it under any circumstances, make every effort to see if they get the chance, not bother seeing, be sure to avoid? Which scenes in the movie did you like most and why? Which scenes, if any, did you not like and why? And please indicate which character was your most favorite, second favorite, and third favorite. Mine's, of course, Winston Zeddemore. Yeah. Wow. The ultimate visual history. Great. Spielberg. The first 10 years. Wow. Written by Laurent Bouzereau. Foreword by John Williams and introduction by George Lucas. Yes. Two of his best friends. Great photo on the set of Jaws. Let's open it up and see what's inside. So here's hoping this one sold well, because I need more than just the first 10 years. My favorite Spielberg is, well, 80s and 90s Spielberg, of course. Such a thick book. Dear Lord, $70 US. I hope my friends paid less. Explore the genesis of Steven Spielberg's remarkable career with this definitive retrospective that covers Duel, The Sugarland Express, Jaws, Close Encounters, 1941, Raiders, and E.T. the Extraterrestrial. Yeah. I need a book about Hook. I need a book about Last Crusade. I need a book about Jurassic Park. Again, feelies. Ugh. Here's the Act 1 of Duel, movie of the weekend. Oh, and there's even interviews with Spielberg. That's nice. That's very nice. I've never seen Duel, so I should be ashamed of myself. Here's some storyboards. I'm actually... Steven Spielberg is my favorite director of all time, and I'm the worst Spielberg fan in history. I've never seen Duel. I've never seen The Sugarland Express. I've never seen Schindler's List. I've never seen Saving Private Ryan. I've never seen Munich. And I think I've never seen Bridge of Spies. And I think I've never seen Empire of the Sun. Oh dear Lord, I'm the worst Spielberg fan in history. Even though he's like, if you look at my top 40 of all time, 25% of the movies is either Spielberg directed or Spielberg produced. Perhaps I'm a bigger fan of Spielberg the producer than Spielberg the director. No. I gotta go wash my mouth, because he also made some of my favorite movies of all time. Hook, number 4. Jurassic Park, my number 7. Last Crusade, my number 8. Raiders, my number 10. So 40% of my top 10 was directed by Steven Spielberg. And if you include produced by, that's 5 for Back to the Future, 6 for Goonies, 7 for Land Before Time, and 8 actually for Blues Brothers, because he has a cameo in that one. So 80% of my top 10 is Spielberg influenced. And yet I haven't seen Duel, or Empire of the Sun, or Schindler's List, or Saving Private Ryan, or Bridge of Spies. I should be ashamed of myself. And then I got 3 more books, and they're all Springsteen related, which is funny because Spielberg and Springsteen are 2 of my biggest heroes. Spielberg is the movie hero and Springsteen is the music hero. So here's Bruce Springsteen, From Asbury Park to Born to Run to Born in the USA. Just photographs. Here's Mary Climbs In, the journeys of Bruce Springsteen's women fans. I'm glad to hear that he has apparently lots of women fans. And The Little Golden Book, Bruce Springsteen. And I gotta admit, I read this one to my son because I wanted to talk to him about my favorite musician, and it got me teary-eyed because the only Little Golden Books I've read so far are fictional, like Jurassic Park, Pete's Dragon. This one is the first that's, well, based on a real person, a living person, and the final page is very, very touching. So what do they say? Bruce and his family moved to a farm. Bruce and his family moved to a farm just down the road from Freehold, not far from the ocean. In fact, that's probably where he is right now, this very minute, living, dreaming, and working hard, just like always. He's playing his guitar and writing new songs, just like always, and singing, just like always. Bruce still has rock and roll in his soul. Thank goodness, some things never change. Yeah, as a Springsteen fan, I just got goosebumps. Very nice. And that concludes the new nerdy books for 2024-2025. I have a lot of reading to do.